Hey guys, YouTuber 100 here, and continuing my Christmas reviews this year. Here's my review of The Polar Express. Yeah, so I actually watched this movie for the very first time, and yeah, it was a really good movie. Yeah, even though it does kind of have like its corny, cheesy, and over-the-top moments at times, it is still a pretty good movie. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Yeah, I probably would have liked it even more if I actually did see it on in 3D. Yeah, because yeah, I've heard like kind of like mixed reviews about this movie and mixed feelings about it. Yeah, but I have heard that it was a really great in 3D. So yeah, if I saw it on 3D, I'd probably think it was even better. Yeah, it was still a really good movie. Yeah, I give this movie about 3 stars out of 4. Yeah, a lot of this movie just like features Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is basically like half of the characters in the movie. He's like the father, the conductor, the hobo, Santa, and the narrator. Yeah, so Tom Hanks is like, yeah, yeah, like I said, he's like basically half the cast of this movie. Yeah, it's like this film had like really low budget, but this movie actually made $165 million. Yeah, well, that was the budget on this movie. Yeah, but since Tom Hanks is like half of the cast of characters in this movie, they just made it seem like the budget was really low, and they had to have him be like half the cast because they couldn't get that many people. Well, yeah, and it also has like people like Eddie Deason, and yeah, it has like Michael Jeter in a motion capture, and his this was actually his final film role, and yeah, it just yeah. Yeah, so yeah, let me just get right into the review, alright? So the movie begins on Christmas Eve in like the late 1950s, and the boy who, yeah, his name's not even mentioned in the movie at all. They don't even say his name at all. So yeah, I'm just gonna call him the hero boy. Yeah, he thought that he heard Santa's sleigh, and he thought he heard him in his house. So he snuck out of his room to try to see him, and it turns out there was only his father and his sister. So yeah, he went back to his room. Yeah, and yeah, he was speaking through like his door lock hole, and he could see like his parents that were like telling his sister about Santa and that she needs to go to sleep. And then yeah, he heard them coming to his room, so ran to his bed and he was just pretending to be asleep. And yeah, the parents came to check on him, and then yeah, once they left, he heard like something outside, and then yeah, he grabbed his robe and slippers and went outside, and then he saw the train, which was called the Polar Express. And then the conductor came out and greeted him, and yeah, he said that the train was going to the North Pole. At first, the boy didn't want to get on, and then yeah, the train started to take off, and then yeah, he then decided to get on to the train. Yeah, and then yeah, as the boy went in, yeah, he met all the other children, in which like the main girl, the hero girl, and then the know-it-all kid. And then the train then had to pick up another boy who was named Billy, and then yeah, basically the same thing went for him as it did for the boy. Yeah, he didn't want to get on, then he decided to get on. And then the boy actually had to stop the train, pull the emergency brake to let Billy on board. And then yeah, the conductor eventually was asking for everybody's ticket. Again, yeah, yeah, just one just magically appeared in the boy's robe pocket. And yeah, the conductor was like punching actual words onto the tickets. Yeah, and then yeah, later on he then asked the kids if they wanted some refreshments, and then yeah, he had like a whole whole waiter team come out, and yeah, it was basically they were singing songs and stuff. Yeah, it just seemed like a circus act. Yeah, and then yeah, they went to go take release some, and then the boy realized that the girl had her ticket unpunched, and then he tried to take the ticket to her, but then it just ended up flying out of his hand. And yeah, they just did like this over the top thing where the ticket just like ended up flying all over the place, like with birds, like an eagle took it to its nest, and yeah, it like it was like being ran down stuff, yeah, and it just kept flying around. It just yeah, and it just kept showing it flying all over the place, and until it finally ended up right back into the train, and yeah, onto like right on the air conditioning vent or furnace, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, and then yeah, the conductor then realized that he didn't punch the girl's ticket yet, and then yeah, the girl then yeah, then yeah, the girl can't find her ticket, and then the boy says that he lost her ticket. He tried to give the girl his ticket, but the conductor said tickets are non transferable. And the conductor was then about to eject the girl from the train. And then they ended up going on to the top of the train, and yeah, the boy found the ticket, and then he tried to get to them, and then yeah, the boy got to the top of the train. And then yeah, he then saw a light when he got to the top of the train. He tried to follow it, and then yeah, it turned out there was this homeless guy, which was or a hobo, on top of the train. And then the boy, or he was speaking to him, and then the hobo offered the boy like I'm guessing it was coffee. And then yeah, the hobo was then telling the boy that he was claiming that he was the owner of the train and the North Pole. And then he tried to help the boy find the girl and the conductor, and he like put the boy on his shoulders, and they were skiing down the train, yeah. And before they reached like a flat top tunnel, yeah, the boy then just like jumped right into coal storage of the coal storage car of the train, and then he found the girl who was actually controlling the train while the engineer and his aide were trying to replace the headlight on the train. And then yeah, they ordered the train to stop for the because they were saw something unusual ahead. And then yeah, it was turned out it was a herd of gnu. I mean gnu. Why did I say gnu? Caribou. Yeah, sorry. I have no idea why I just said gnu. Caribou crossing. And then yeah, the boy and the conductor then realized hey, is that like pulling the engineer's long beard would like it would get the caribou's attention. And then yeah, that then and like made the caribou like clear out through the way of the track. And then yeah, the train then was continuing on. And then the train like the train started like it came to like a spot where it was like had like a big thing going down, and then yeah, after that it pretty much was ending up like a roller coaster, and it was just crossing the Glacier Gulch, and then it went to a frozen lake. And as the engineers were trying to like straighten out the train, they lost one of the pins that would help control the train, and then yeah, it then like got caught in the ice on an ice lake, and then it caused the ice to start cracking. And then the engineer decided to use one of his hairpins to actually he fixed the throttle, and then yeah, the ice then continued to crack, and then the conductor then told the engineer to get on the other side of the tracks. And then yeah, and then they were able to do that just right before the lake shattered completely. And then the boy then was able to actually give the girl back her ticket, and then yeah, the conductor then was able to make the punch in the ticket. And then yeah, the conductor just was taking the kids back to the inside of the train, and then they went through like a car in the train with abandoned toys, and yeah, the boy then saw like he got scared off by like a puppet of Ebenezer Scrooge that was being portrayed by the hobo. Oh, and then yeah, he went back to like the car where the girl and Billy started to sing, and then yeah, the train eventually finally arrived at the North Pole. And as the conductor was trying to get the kids to form lines, and as the boy and the girl still saw Billy in the car, and then they were trying to get him to come out, and then yeah, the car they were in from the train, it then took off on its own. Oh, and then yeah, I was starting to roll downhill backwards, and yeah, it just suddenly stopped on a turntable. And then yeah, they were just exploring a few places in the North Pole. Yeah, it's like a place where the elves were like making the naughty nice list and like seeing who was naughty and who was nice. And yeah, a room where they were like wrapping up presents and stuff. And then they eventually like ended up on a pile of big presents, and then Billy ended up finding a present for himself. And he was excited, and then but it actually said on the present not to open until Christmas. And yeah, the presents ended up getting transported on a big into a big giant bag that was being carried by a blimp. And, and yeah, the yeah, and then the bag was just slowly being lowered down to the ground, and the elves helped all the kids out, including yeah, the know-it-all kid actually who ended up in the bag too. Yeah, and yeah, the elves were all helping them out one by one, and yeah, and then yeah, the reindeer were starting to be prepared, and then Santa finally arrived, and he emerged from his workshop, let's say, yeah, and yeah, though everyone was cheering, all the kids and the elves, but the boy couldn't see Santa, and then yeah, he saw like one of the bells on the reindeer broke loose, and then he got a hold of it, and then first as he was shaking it, he couldn't hear anything, but then he was said he that he believed, and then that was when he started to hear the bell ring, and then Santa finally approached the boy, and yeah, he decided to give the boy the first gift of Christmas, and it ended up being that bell. And he told the boy that the true spirit of Christmas lies in his heart. And then Santa then took off, and then yeah, and then like a whole band of elves started to play in like a celebration, yeah. And then the elves reattached the car that the boy, girl, and Billy were in, and yeah. And then everyone was headed home, and the conductor punched more holes into their tickets and actually spelled out more of the words. It said like learn and depend on and yeah, a bunch of other stuff, yeah. And then yeah, once the boy got on the train, every everybody wanted to see his bell, but it turns out that he had lost it because of the hole in his pocket. Yeah, and then yeah, the train then took Billy home, and then it took the boy home. Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, when he got home, he saw that Santa still hadn't arrived at his house yet. And then the next morning, he got woken up by his sister, and then yeah, they had their presents, and yeah, there was one present for him, and then he opened it up, and it ended up being that bell. And yeah, and it turned out only he could hear it. Yeah, his parents looked at the bell, and yeah, they couldn't hear anything out of it. Yeah, and only the boy ended up being able to hear out of it. And then yeah, it was then the story by the narrator saying that the bell only rings for those who truly believe, and that's how the movie ended. So yeah, 3 stars out of 4. Yeah, so yeah, it was a real good movie. All right, so that's my review of Polar Express. Hope you guys enjoyed. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.